All right, guys. My name's Cole. This is project number 4, where we are creatively using AI to build something. And so I am using AI to generate a logo in this demonstration. I've actually done this already. I did this pretty quickly after the new ChatGPT 4.0 image generation model was released about a month ago. And first of all, if I can just tap on that and just say, like, it's so impressive, like, what it can do. And hopefully, if you guys have already played around with it a lot, I'm sure I've seen just the potential. But it is super cool. And the biggest breakthrough of this compared to the previous Dolly 3 model was that this one can actually generate text on screen that you can read. Before it was just gibberish. I didn't understand how to write text. So now, like, all of graphic design and, you know, marketing, it's just like the whole landscape is changing so rapidly, like even just with this one update. um Further as context now of your conversations, the previous things, you can make edits to like like for example logo, and it's just so super cool. I've had a lot of fun playing with it since the release. But this is for a project. So the job in this case is I'm building a startup called AI Garden. And this is a true story. Over the last like 2 months I've been, well, like month I've been working on this. And hopefully in some of the future projects I'll get a chance to show it off a little more. But I'm using ChatGPT 4.0. I'm a generation model. So let's just get into it. So this was my original logo, and I'm not gonna even call it a logo. It was simply just a 3D cube icon that I found on like Canva, and I just wanted something clean, futuristic for like an AI tech SaaS. I don't know. I just thought that that was fitting, and I made it. And again, the company or the product is called AI Garden, and the whole point of it is to have all your AI tools in one spot, including, you know, like ChatGPT 4.5, Gemini 2.5 Pro, Grok 3, whatever it is, all in one spot, and you get access to all of them rather than spending $20 here, $20 there, $25 here, $20 there. All of it in one spot. And so I'm like, okay, I can't just have this cube, even though I think it looks clean, but it's like, it's not a logo, it's just an icon. So I asked ChatGPT with this prompt. It said, design a minimalist logo for AI Garden. The core shape is a 3D cube envisioned as a planter. Introduce a small stylized green plant element that is clearly visible but does not overwhelm the cube. The plant's design should be very simple, possibly a single stem with a couple of small basic leaves. Maintain a minimalist aesthetic with clean lines and a focus on the relationship between the cube and planter and a small green plant. And so I actually provided that cube above here in that prompt. And then this is what it came back with. Pretty clean. So that was the first iteration, and I did several. So I think if I go here, this will, still learning how to work this OBS Studio. So anyway, this was the first. Again, it wasn't even a really logo, but I sent that prompt in, and then it gave me sorry. Then it gave me that, and then my next prompt, I got it over here, so I'm just gonna read it. It says, let's see. Okay, it said nice. Let's try some other combos. Maybe a version of slightly more detail. Just try a different iteration, and then it did this. And so now there's like this 3D element where it looks like there's like some dirt or soil in the planter box, but it's still super clean, minimalistic. And then the next prompt I said was back to the first one. You know, I kind of liked the first one being a little bit more cube and not the depth of like the garden box. So what if all the sides were shaped or shaded a different shade for indication of a shadow, or just gave a um, a luxury feel? Honestly, that prompt makes no sense looking back on it, but this was the result of that. And again, I'm like, wow, like that's great. Like this is perfect. You know, I'm like, okay, I could work with this. Actually, sorry, this is the one that it came with. This was the one that it did after that. And then my next prompt was, okay, I like this. However, the garden bed looks a little sad. Maybe the plant had a little bit more life to it. Not necessarily a lot more detail, but fill the box a little more. Nothing crazy here. And then this was the outcome of that. So I was like, okay, that's better. And then I said, I'd be interested to see a version that has no outline or borders on the cube of the planter box, but still looks like a cube because the shades and the plant and the dirt in the middle. Can you do another version with no lines? So I was talking about these lines here. I'm like, what if we got rid of those but kept everything else kind of the same? And then this was the outcome of that. And I'm like, whoa, we are getting somewhere. This is really cool. So I said, ooh, nice. Can you make another one like that? But the plant looks more like it's planted in the soil rather than just pasted on top. Because, like, right here, I'm just like, if you took away the plant, it just kind of looked like a cube with different colors going on. So I'm like, let's make it look a little bit more realistic. And then this was it. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's the one. That's the one. It still actually looks like it's just pasted right on top, honestly, but just the curvature here, showing the depth. I mean, I just kind of fell in love with it, and I didn't even go and ask for any more iterations. Um, and so, I guess overall, from starting with this and ending with this, I'm just like in 5 prompts, just super impressed. Um, and so I guess I'm just excited to see how this changes things in the future of graphic design. So I need to go here and do the reflection questions. How do you see AI fitting into your creative output in your field of job going forward? So I don't really have like a specific field I'm working in, but what I will say is I think that this gives an opportunity to entrepreneurs, business owners, people that are doing even just personal, like, maybe it's like a birthday party and you want to do something fun. I don't know. But using these tools gives kind of an even playing ground for anybody. Whereas, like in the past, if I wanted to make a logo like this, I might have had to hire somebody, spend a lot of money, or if I wanted to do it, probably would have taken forever. Or if I were to even just use Canva, which is like, the last, best resort, or I guess the next best resort to this, it would still take, like, I don't even know how I would have built that logo. Let me just show it one more time. Like, I wouldn't have no idea how to build this logo in Canva. So the future is definitely changing with the ease of graphic design. Then, what aspects of the process were the most fun, useful, or surprising? I would just say seeing how quickly these like iterations it was making were like accurate to what I was wanting. That was the most fun. It was just like, no way. Because I did this maybe like 2 days after the new image generation model came out. I'm like, it is as good as people are saying. Um, what was useful? I mean, I just made a cool logo with a 3D cube. And what was surprising? The fact that it could do that and it could remember, it had context of, the past ones. I'm like, well, I didn't like this. I didn't like how the 3D effect of the planter made it just kind of threw me off. And then it was like, okay, yeah. Or this. I'm like, when I asked it to remove the lines, I was so surprised that it just literally removed the lines and did exactly what I wanted off one prompt. So super cool. I need to end this video because I'm going over time, aren't I? Yeah. But anyway, I'll be interested to see what else this model can do and how it can be implemented and as it gets better. But that being said, on to the next one, and hope you guys learned something or enjoyed my presentation.